Miami Dolphins mode. Yeah! Miami Dolphins mode. What? Miami Dolphins. Woo! Mode. Yeah!
What's
Woo!
up, Dolphin fans, and thank you for coming on the Miami Dolphins Moon channel. Today, we're going to talk about the defensive coordinator, the Miami Dolphins' new defensive coordinator of the Miami Dolphins, and his name is Josh Boyer. All right, so let's get into it. First off, Josh Boyer, he's been around for about 13 to 15 years in the league. He's been with Brian Flores for 13 years. He's always been on the defensive side of the ball. When he started out with the Patriots in the NFL. And when he started out, he was a position coach. He was like an assistant position coach of the DBs. Then, after about a couple years, 2 or 3 years, he was promoted to the cornerbacks coach, right? Where he held that position for another 11 years. 13 of the years that he was in the Patriots, he worked with Brian Flores, and they're very familiar with each other. Flores actually coached the safeties, and Josh Boyer coached the cornerback. So they were in the secondary together. So he spent a lot of time, working together. All right, and Josh Boyer, he's like I said before, he was the coach of the cornerbacks in the Patriots, and he coached guys like Stephon Gilmore, Malcolm Butler, Darrell Revis. Revis was already good, but he coached them. Aqib Talib was another one that was already good, but he coached them when he was in the Patriots. And Devin McCourty. Also you could put Logan Ryan and other guys that they've had in the backfield in the secondary, in the cornerbacks that he's worked for. And one of the things that he's had since he's been coaching is that he gets like undrafted free agents or guys like that you don't think are going to make it, and he pulls that next level type play out of them. I mean, you saw it last year with Nick Needham, right? He was defensive back coach for us. I mean, the cornerback coach for us, right? Last year, and you see what he did with Needham. You saw last year how the fluctuation of the cornerbacks from week to week was where we were picking up free agents from the waiver wire almost every week because injuries, and because also we needed to use more DBs in the defense because of our personnel. So we had to stack up on that, and he was able to get guys that just came off the street or came off the waivers or something like that, and get them playing in. Some turned out in the first game that they could, they produced, and a couple of guys like Hayes, I think Brooks, I forget all their names right now, but there was a lot of guys. You remember the season, you remember, okay, and also like I started off with Nick Needham. He was tied for second, I think, for all rookies DBs with 11 pass defense. And in the beginning of the season, because we got him as an undrafted free agent, in the beginning of the season, he wasn't doing so great, and he elevated his game afterward. So this is something that he gets credit for, being able to get more out of players, right? Like I said, Flores brought him over from the Patriots. Of course, they worked in the secondary very closely, like I said before, so he probably wanted to bring his buddy along. What I saw a couple videos on Josh Boyer, and he says that he likes to change the looks. He likes to change the coverages on defense. Feels that if you don't do that, then it really doesn't challenge the offense, which is a basic thing that we all know, but I think he's going further into it, dissecting it a little more. Flores did make a statement that Josh and him, they see things through the same lenses, right? Like I said before, they coached in the secondary together. Brian Flores safeties, him as a cornerbacks coach, and so that gives you a lot more time with that person. When you're working, you guys are in the defensive room, even defensive guys, and since you're not the defensive coordinator, sometimes you get put on assignments, together, so you have to work together. I mean, imagine 13 years of that, accumulated many conversations, and all that, you get a little deeper. So that's when he says that you see through the same lenses, it takes a while, to be able to understand each other and grow, to a certain point where you guys are right there. You guys kind of want the same things, or should want the same exact thing. So I think that this blend for Brian Flores and Josh Boyer is going to be great, because it's like they're not starting anything new. The defensive coordinator, the position is new, but them communicating, it's not new at all. So it feels to them like they've been together for 13 years, which, I mean, that's just a great thing to have. You know, as far as communication goes, maybe it's faster to get things done when you guys already know, what's going on. Also, so Josh Boyer, and let's talk about the defense. Josh Boyer is accustomed to the Patriots defense. He was there for 13 years. So what I believe is going to happen, is going to look like the same thing we had last year, which is great because all the players that were here last year don't have to get a new playbook, don't have to start studying new coverages. They just pick up where they left off last year, right? So it's going to be the same thing. He runs like a hybrid offense. You could run a 3-4, you could run a 4-3, you could run a dime, you could run a nickel. It just depends on the situation. And he, with what the Patriots do, we already know that they make it so that their defense is ready for any type of offense or any type of offensive scheme that they're able to match. That's why depth is a very good asset to have to be able to accomplish this, because it's hard to accomplish it, first of all, because there's just so many, the month salary cap and all of that. It's just very hard to completely do it, So this is what it's going to look like, and I think that the defense is going to do better. Also Gottschalk said that in the meetings, Patrick Graham would let Josh Boyer run some of the meetings, or maybe not the meetings, but he was talking, he was communicating with the players a lot, so he was in front of the players last year a lot. So to them, it doesn't feel like there was a big switch, since he was always communicating with them, during the last season. So it shouldn't be a big switch. It's just, okay, now you're the defensive coordinator, But players like him, players say good things about him. I hope this keeps on going forward. And of course, another element is that this is Brian Flores' defense, right? That's what he got, hired to do. So Brian Flores could easily, help on the defensive side of the ball. If Josh Boyer is having a problem, he could step in, no problem. He knows the whole defense. It's his defense, right? So, I mean, that helps out. And like I said before, the communication and the relationship that they built over the years, and that should make it better. And especially, and with this, all the additions that have gone on this year, it should be a good defense. It should be the strength of our team. I'm saying that the defense should be better than our offense, right? With all the investment that we've done over this past offseason. And the real question is Josh Boyer going to make it happen? Is his transition from cornerback coach to defensive coordinator going to be too much for him? Or is he going to be able to slip right in there and not have a problem and keep the machine going, right? Or build the machine completely, right? Because it's not going yet, but, build the machine, But yeah, that's the question that's going on. I mean, hopefully, we never know, because we got to toss it up in the air, right? Because we don't know Josh Boyer like that, right? We haven't seen him over all these games being the defensive coordinator. Most of us didn't know who he was until he got hired as a defensive coordinator. So that's one thing that we need to look out for. But if he's anything like Brian Flores, and if they're anything alike, I think that he has a better chance of getting it done. And also, I think a big thing is Brian Flores being the defensive mind that he is, to be there to help him out, So it's one thing that we're gonna have to pay attention to this upcoming season, but I think it's gonna be for the good, and maybe with some growing pains here and there, But I think it's gonna be something good. Okay. Well, that's it. That's it for this video. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate your time. Please, if you like the video, like, subscribe. Thank you. Go Dolphins.